All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your Smackdown review for March 15th, 2024. I thought after the first segment, the rest of SmackDown just sucked. They did a little bit of building towards WrestleMania 40 with the other matches, but just wasn't really a fan of it. You had a couple minutes with LA Knight on the mic before AJ attacked him. You had Jimmy Uso responded to Jey Uso. Why didn't Jey Uso show up on SmackDown and jump him? He cost him the IC title, then he cost him a match with Drew. So he cost him two matches, and then he doesn't show up. He just responds to his WrestleMania challenge. But yeah, other than that, not a lot happened. Thought most of it just sucked. And The Rock, even earlier in the day, basically cooked Cody on on his IG account. Thought that was hilarious. He was just rehashing some of the same stuff in his segment on SmackDown that he did from the IG promo. The Rock's just showing Cody and Seth that there's pretty much levels to this. And Cody and Seth, they're not on his level. It's pretty obvious. And the Rock's making Cody look like a little bitch or whatever because he's been crying and stuff, especially this past week on Raw. It was hilarious. All right, anyways, let's get to it. The Rock has some cool entrance. He did the same thing last week. I forgot to talk about that with the blue lightning and stuff. So it looked like Black Adam was gonna show up, or like Black Adam was gonna come out in the entrance with the blue lightning and stuff. And then they remixed his regular song that he has now with the Hollywood Rocks thing, the Hollywood Rock song. Thought that was cool. Haven't heard that song in ages. So he basically remixed that song with his new song. All right, so he gets in the ring, he says tonight is different. Says he started his wrestling career here in Memphis, Tennessee. And then two singers hopped up onto the announce table. There was a one singer and one guitar player, I guess. I think they were both singing. I can't remember. Says this song is going to be about what's going to happen to Seth and Cody at WrestleMania 40. So he pulls out his guitar. Hold on, find a better one. Yeah, there we go. Better angle. All right, so he says he'll break their back or beat them with his fanny pack. And then he says Dusty tried raising Cody right, but he turned out to be weird. Seth Rollins' wife is more popular than he is, and says he'll make his title disappear. And then that's pretty much it for the song. He just wanted just mocking Cody and Seth. And then yeah, so rock concert he hasn't done in a while. I think was the last one about Vicky Guerrero years ago. Can't remember. And then after the song, he pretty much addressed Cody Rhodes slapping him at the end of last week's show. Says yeah, so they showed the slap, and then he says, "How would you respond, Cody, on Raw?" Crying, and he started mocking him there. He's like, "You gotta be shitting me. I want to talk to Mama Rhodes." He says, "You want your son to finish the story? Not gonna happen. You're gonna get a belt, but it's gonna be the Rock's belt. He's gonna whoop him like a dog. The Rock is gonna take his belt with your son's blood, with you sitting in the front row. The Rock is gonna say, 'What can I say? Is you're welcome.'" That's like the beginning of his that song he always sings. And then he says, "If you smell what the final boss is cooking." Was that another shot at Roman there? Because he's saying he's the final boss instead of Roman. So it could be another shot at Roman. So Rock's pretty much calling himself Ganondorf from Zelda Ocarina of Time. Back in the day, he was the final boss. And then 64. So yeah, that was a great promo. Rock concert back in years. Pretty much showing Cody and Seth how it's done. Pretty much cussing like he wants to. All these reports, the wrestlers are mad about the Rock cussing, whatever. Dude, it's the Rock. He can do what the hell he wants. All these guys crying about it backstage. Give me a break, man. All right, so I thought that promo was good, and then after this, everything just went downhill the show. All right, so we got LWO versus LDF. LDF wins. And I just didn't really care for that. It was a qualifying match for the tournament, for like a tournament they're doing on SmackDown or something. Next up, we got LA Knight. Yeah. So he has an interview on the stage with Caleb Braxton, and he says to her, "I need to cook for a minute." So she hands a mic to him, and he's talking about AJ here. Why don't you come out here and humble LA Knight? Yeah, making empty threats. Biggest mark walking is AJ Styles. Challenges AJ at WrestleMania 40, and then AJ Styles comes out to attack. Yeah, so AJ attacks LA Knight with the chair, and then he put the chair on LA Knight's throat and says he accepts his challenge. So it's gonna be AJ Styles versus LA Knight at WrestleMania. Hopefully, there's better segments in this. Get them on the have an in-ring segment with them going back and forth on the mic. That's what they should have done on SmackDown this past week. Next up, we got a segment in the back. Nick Aldis and Logan Paul. Logan Paul pretty much wants an apology from Randy Orton. Nick Aldis told him, "You should tell Randy to apologize yourself for that RKO on KSI." So that was it for that. Then we got a segment in the back with the Bloodline. Kayla scares Paul Heyman. And then Jimmy cuts off Heyman and he gets on the mic. Pretty much accepts Jey Uso's WrestleMania challenge. So it's gonna be Uso versus Uso, brother versus brother at WrestleMania. He pretty much what they could have done. Yeah, they could have done Jay and Jimmy in with the segment in the ring, or have Jay jump Jimmy in the back somewhere, or if Jimmy had a match, you could have Jey Uso jump him there, or screw him over, cost him a match for once. But it's kind of lame. And just cutting a 1 minute promo. It was decent, but wasn't really a fan of it. They could have just done a better promo with Jay there to build it up more or build it up better. All right, next up we got Grayson Waller versus Randy Orton. Randy hits a power slam, then he drops a back suplex onto he drops Waller onto the announce table twice. And then Randy hit a middle rope DDT on Grayson Waller and on Austin Theory. And then he hit an RKO for the win. And then after the match, Austin Theory attacks Randy Orton. KO comes out to make the save and help out Randy. And then so Randy got his ass whooped. KO comes out to help him. And then Randy gets up. He starts backing up because he's taking so much damage or whatever, and he's about to drop an RKO. He didn't know he wasn't aware of who was around him, so he was about to drop KO, and KO pushed him off, and then they pretty much like, "Oh, what are you?" KO's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I thought you were Logan Paul or Theory or Grayson Waller or whatever." So they were cool after that, and then Nick Aldis comes out on stage where Logan Paul's standing, and then he pretty much says, "I got your opponents for WrestleMania." Says it's gonna be KO and Randy in a triple threat match for the U.S. title. Weren't they building up to Randy Orton versus Logan Paul? Because he's the one that Logan Paul's the one that screwed over Randy and cost him the main event at WrestleMania and the when he jumped him in the Elimination Chamber match with that sucker punch. So I guess it was because of that finish at the Rumble. Was it KO versus Logan Paul, where he got himself DQ'd when the ref saw the what was the weapon? The brass knuckles on his hands. So pretty much giving him a pass for that, give him a rematch for that for that DQ finish. So it's gonna be a triple threat. Logan Paul should probably lose. I'm going to go, yeah, Randy Orton should win. Just drop both of them with an RKO and then just win the match. Maybe pins KO to protect Logan Paul, I guess. And then Logan Paul can come back and say, "Oh, it was unfair, or whatever. I got screwed over. I didn't even get pinned and I lost the title." And they can build to a Randy Orton Logan Paul match after WrestleMania. But who knows? That's probably what's going to end up likely happening, but we'll see. All right, so we God. Okay, triple threat was announced. Okay, so we got Santos. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about this. This was hilarious. So KO, KO hit a stunner, and then Austin Theory jumped into Randy Orton or in his direction. Then he hit an RKO. This is hilarious, man. It was a complete botch, man. This just looked hilarious. All right, got Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Santos wins. After the match, they attacked Dragon Lee, and then Carlito he comes out to make the save. It's a backstabber on one of his lackeys, and then Santos attacks Carlito. Rey Mysterio comes out to make the save against Santos and his crew. Then he gets out the ring before Rey's about to hit the 619, and then Rey pretty much challenging Santos to a match next week. And he grabs the mic. Oh yeah, so he grabs the mic. He challenges Santos to a match. Then he says he's gonna slap that stupid, arrogant smile off your face. And that was it for the segment. Thought they could have, yeah, they thought they could have done a better segment than that instead of him jumping Santos guys after a match. Build it up better, but I guess they're gonna go with that. And why they're doing the match next week? Shouldn't they do the match at WrestleMania? They're probably gonna end in a DQ and then they'll have a rematch at WrestleMania most likely. Because why would you do the whole like the WrestleMania match on SmackDown next week? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I think it's gonna be yeah, I think it's gonna end in DQ, interference, some count out, just a screwed up finish, and they'll do the rematch at WrestleMania. Next up, we got Pretty Deadly versus Butch and Tyler Bates, and then Butch and Tyler Bates win, and then they advance in the tournament or whatever. And next, so I didn't really care for that. Then we had Bailey versus Dakota Kai, the main event of SmackDown. I think Bailey won. I don't remember. And then Naomi interfered to help out Bailey. She started attacking people. Does it not show her? And then Damage Control just overpowered them, I guess. That was pretty much it. Yeah, but it's just a lackluster SmackDown since the Rock segment ended. So yeah, that was pretty much it for SmackDown. See ya.